Someone asked me a while ago about Israeli media, and this is a very simplified version. There are other sites and other outlets as well, but generally, Israeli media is it's not really center. So you have like the mainstream bubble, which is like the channels in America. So channel 12 would be akin to CNN. Channel 13 would be akin to MSNBC. So like leftist, like explicit, like not hiding the fact that they're left wing. Channel 12 is hiding the fact that they're left wing, but nevertheless they do things from a very partisan perspective. Ynet is around the same as Channel 12. It's online, but it's a website. Kan is the state sponsored television, sort of like PBS or BBC. It's not as bad as those are in terms of political bias, although some right wingers in Israel would disagree with me. They do have at least a modicum of balance. You have like Ayala Hasson's show to balance out things. Like they at least try or claim to try. Okay, Subbox is saying, Guy, we'll talk epistemology sometime, the most interesting branch. I completely agree. Epistemology is the analysis of not just the analysis, but the how to know whether you can know. And like everything about knowledge, like the philosophy of knowledge, essentially. Yeah, Haaretz is very left wing. And sometimes fun fact, I actually know some people on the board of Haaretz. They're like family friends. And we talk about it sometimes. Haaretz, from their perspective, is like, look, we have this is actually for Israel because it shows that Israel has an open media, and that it can criticize the country, and they do think that the situation in the West Bank and the settlements is bad. And to be fair, to the extent that there are problems there, they're the only ones reporting it, essentially. It's just that I think that a lot of the things they report either are mischaracterized or end up being like partial in a way that creates a distorted image of a distorted picture of what actually happened. Okay, so Grease Monkey is asking, is it for left? Is there a channel 16? There is a new channel 16. I don't know enough about it to say anything about it. But Khalifa is there, the Druze person I mentioned earlier. So I'm already I'm excited for it just on that alone, because he's a very, very good person to show information about the Arab world. Again, from an Israeli perspective, from an Israeli Druze perspective, which is a very interesting perspective and community. Okay, so Mortar Pool Grease Monkey is saying, is it 4 left, 1 right? Most leftists have 4 left wingers for every right winger and call it balanced. Yeah, so that's channel 12. That's the channel 12 thing. For Kan, they have some shows that are like 2 people, 1 right wing, 1 left wing, talking to each other, but I also don't watch it enough to say with confidence anything beyond that. There does seem to be a left wing bias, but it's not as bad as the others. Then we have I-24, which is my personal favorite media channel in Israel right now. I might like channel 16 more, especially if it really tries to be balanced and not, because this is a right wing channel. It's center right, but it's definitely more right wing. Then we have Israel Hayom. Israel Hayom is a newspaper / website. Again, staunchly right-wing perspective. Used to be vehemently pro-Netanyahu, and that has changed. This is the paper that the Edelsons run. It used to be staunchly pro-Netanyahu. Now it's like general right-wing. And then we have Channel 14, which is staunchly pro-Netanyahu. Or it's the most right-wing channel in Israel. It's not blindly for Netanyahu as much as some people like say that it is. That's like a channel. It's a propaganda channel for Netanyahu. I don't agree with that assessment. Sometimes they criticize Netanyahu if he's not right wing enough. They are very right wing and also religious, and they tend to be pro ultra orthodox, for example, which I disagree with. Although again, they have panels and people disagree on the panels, but they have like that angle to them. So someone asked for this before. I hope this was interesting. Alexan is saying Haaretz 20 years ago is totally different to Haaretz today. Yes, I agree. They went. It's sort of like the left. What happened to them is what happened to the left in general in the world. Just like went leftward over the past 20 years. What's the difference between right wing and left wing politics in Israel? It's mostly security. So it used to be economics way back when. Socialism versus capitalism. And then after 67, it slowly started shifting to being about what to do with. In 67, we had the 6-Day War, and we got control over a bunch of areas, including Gaza and the West Bank, and Sinai, which we then gave back to the Egyptians for a peace deal. But and also the Golan Heights. After that happened, the political boundaries start to shift to the right wing being pro staying in the West Bank and Gaza, and the left wing, and especially in the 90s when we had the Oslo Accord that created the Palestinian Authority, the left wing started talking about separating from the Palestinians, or became about separating from the Palestinians, having a two-state solution, and so on. After October 7th, the two-state solution it was already dying in Israeli politics, but now it's like dead, basically. No, if you say you're for the two-state solution, you're going to lose a lot of people. Two states in the sense of like a full state for the Palestinians, not some, like, for example, a lot of right-wingers would be fine with the Emirates solution that I mentioned earlier, where you have independent cities that are tied together through like the Emirates in UAE are different municipalities that have like their own autonomous control based on tribes, and then they also have a centralized body, but it's like the autonomous control based on the tribes is the main thing here, because of it plays into what works best for Arab culture. The places that are thriving are the places that are clan based. The places that aren't are the places that had Western notions of nationality imposed upon them from outside. Iraq, Syria, Lebanon. It's when you try to put a bunch of tribes together and there's constant fighting there. So if you do a solution that's based on the tribal aspect of the country, it's it might work better. That's the claim there. And so you create municipalities that are based on the main tribe of the municipality. And a lot of right wingers would be fine with this solution, but not a full state based on the Palestinian Authority. Let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna read one of Grease Monkey's comments. Bad Monkey, the one about Khalifa. You know what you wrote. You know what you said. Oh, sorry. I actually didn't finish the point. So now, this two-state solution is pretty much dead, and so the lines are about judicial reform and about not really about ultra-Orthodox, because it's mostly the ultra-Orthodox that are for that, but also like what kind of posture we should have for the world and what we should do with the West Bank. Like it's still a bit there, but the lines are becoming a bit different. And judicial reform is becoming a big sticking point. Roman Viking is saying, Israel tried separating in 2005 in Gaza. Yes, I'm not going to get into it now because we don't have a lot of time. That's one of the things that led to the two-state solution becoming way less popular. Okay, so I think we're done with the media. So what about Jerusalem Post, Times of Israel, JNS? All these, I gave you like the main ones. Those are mostly read by non-Israelis. They're like the like Times of Israel isn't in Hebrew. Jerusalem Post isn't in Hebrew. JNS isn't in Hebrew. These are outside-facing media channels in Israel. They're not for Israelis. So I wanted to give you the outlook for within Israel.